Have you ever wondered why something that once brought you comfort, relief, and even a deep sense of connection now feels rushed, disconnected, or strangely empty? I ask not to judge, but to open an honest conversation. After the age of 60, our bodies don't just slow down. They begin to send new signals about needs, rhythms, and even emotions. And yet, many men continue practicing private habits from their younger years, unaware that these very behaviors, when left unchecked, may quietly disrupt hormonal balance, disturb sleep, undermine emotional well-being, and even chip away at one's sense of self. I'm talking about a sensitive yet important subject, self-pleasure in older men. Not because it's wrong, but because the way it's done unconsciously, in isolation, or out of outdated patterns, may end up doing more harm than good. Today, health professionals are raising red flags about 7 common mistakes older men make in this area, mistakes that often go unnoticed. And these errors aren't just about physical discomfort. They can deeply affect prostate health, emotional stability, and the overall sense of vitality and intimacy. So today, we're not here to shame, we're here to learn, to explore how aging changes, not just our bodies, but our relationship with ourselves, and how awareness, not denial's the true path to renewal. If this resonates with you, I invite you to stay with me until the end of this video. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and if this message feels timely for you, type the number 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I can improve future content to serve you better. Mistake number 1. Believing the myth of retention now. Let's look closer at one of the most misunderstood beliefs many older men quietly carry with them, sometimes for decades: the idea that withholding ejaculation will somehow boost their energy, sharpen their mind, or magically raise testosterone. Does that sound familiar? It's a narrative that feels empowering at first. Perhaps you've heard it online or from older traditions that glorify holding back as a way to maintain youth. But as someone who has spent decades studying male health and aging, I can tell you this: that belief, while well-intended, can quietly sabotage your physical and emotional well-being. The truth is, your body was designed to release, not recklessly but rhythmically, naturally, and consciously. Ejaculation is not a loss of power. When done mindfully, it's a biological process that helps regulate hormones, support prostate function, and ease internal tension. In fact, suppressing this function for prolonged periods, weeks, or even months can lead to pelvic congestion, irritability, sleep issues, emotional restlessness, and yes, even an increased risk of prostate complications. This isn't theory. This is what clinicians and men's health experts are witnessing daily. And perhaps even more importantly, the psychological toll of believing that your natural desires are somehow dangerous or depleting can foster shame, emotional disconnection, and anxiety around intimacy. But here's the shift. The goal is not performance. It's presence. Self-pleasure, when practiced with awareness, isn't about releasing energy or holding it in. It's about reconnecting with your body. It's about listening, not forcing. In your 60s and beyond, what your body needs is not control, but compassion. Choosing to release not out of habit, but from a place of clarity, can restore emotional balance, reduce stress, and improve your confidence, not just in intimacy, but in how you feel in your own skin. Let go of the myth. You're not giving up your strength, you're reclaiming your harmony. So, if part of you has been holding back because of something you read or heard long ago, I invite you to reconsider. What if your body has been waiting for you to stop battling? It can start partnering with it. Still with me? Type 1 in the comments if this resonates. Because next, we'll explore a habit so automatic, so ingrained, that it may be silently dulling your capacity for real pleasure, and you might not even know it's happening. Let's continue. Mistake number 2. Using the same grip and technique every time. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you changed the way you touch yourself? If your answer is never, you're not alone. Many older men follow the exact same technique they've used since their teenage years. Same hand, same motion, same pressure. It's familiar, efficient, and gets the job done. So why fix what isn't broken? Here's the catch. Over time, that exact repetition, what once felt satisfying, can quietly dull your nervous system's responsiveness. The body adapts. And when it's exposed to the same form of stimulation repeatedly, it begins to rely on that specific input just to respond at all. This is known as sensory conditioning. And the cost: diminished sensitivity, a sense of detachment, or even frustration, when physical pleasure no longer feels as full or rewarding. You may find it harder to climax, less responsive during intimacy with a partner, or mentally distracted in the very moments that should feel the most alive. But it's not because your body is broken, it's because it's craving variety. Our nervous system, just like our muscles, thrives on challenge and novelty. When you use only one pathway of pleasure over and over, it's like lifting the same weight the same way forever. Your progress stalls. Changing your technique isn't about abandoning what works. It's about expanding your range. Try switching. Hands, adjust the angle. Play with pressure lighter, firmer, or variable. Slow it down. Experiment with circular motion or a more mindful pace. Even small changes can reactivate dormant nerve pathways and renew your capacity for deeper sensation. Some men also find gentle benefit in using a personal massager or textured sleeve designed specifically for mature sensitivity. These aren't gimmicks, they're tools for reawakening your connection to pleasure in a safe, healthy, and age-conscious way. And remember, the real goal isn't just climax, it's curiosity, engagement, and reconnection. Your body at 65 is not your body at 25. But that's not a loss. It's an invitation to explore new dimensions of sensation with greater awareness and compassion. So before we move on, take a moment to reflect. Have your techniques become routine? Are you stuck in old patterns that no longer serve your evolving body? Because even if you change the physical approach, there's one habit deeply ingrained that might still be sabotaging your satisfaction, and chances are you're doing it right now without even realizing the cost. Let's uncover it next. Mistake number 3. Rushing the experience. Let me ask you, when did pleasure become something to race through? In our younger years, many men learned to rush masturbation out of necessity, limited privacy, the urgency of hormones, or the fear of interruption. It was a habit born of circumstance, not intention. But here's the problem. For many, that habit never changed. The same rushed urgency that once made sense in a teenager's bedroom now follows them into their 60s and 70s and questions. Automatic. If you've ever found yourself finishing before your mind even had a chance to settle into the experience, you're not alone. But you may also be missing out on something far deeper. See, as your body changes, your relationship with pleasure needs to evolve too. Rushing through self-pleasure turns what could be a moment of connection into a mechanical task. The focus narrows to release instead of exploration, sensation, or emotional presence. And that's where the damage quietly begins. When you rush, your body doesn't have the time it needs to build arousal naturally. Your nervous system doesn't fully engage. Your mind remains scattered. Instead of being in your body present sure, racing toward the finish line, barely registering the path you took to get there. Over time, this can blunt your sensitivity, reduce emotional satisfaction, and leave you feeling strangely disconnected. After climax, some men begin to assume it's a sign of aging or physical decline, but more often than not, it's simply a body longing for slower, more conscious attention, not faster performance. Slowing down is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's a radical act of self-respect. When you give yourself time, your body responds. Your nervous system awakens. Your pleasure builds gradually. Your mind quiets. Deep breaths, intentional touch, and mindful pacing transform the experience from routine to renewal. It's not about taking longer just for the sake of it. It's about feeling more alive in your body, more grounded, more emotionally attuned. Think of this. After 60, pleasure is not something to rush through. It's something to savor. Each moment of present time attention becomes an opportunity to reconnect, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. This isn't just about sexual health, it's about mental clarity, hormonal balance, and emotional grounding. Here's a simple tip you can try before beginning. Take 1 full minute to breathe deeply without touching, just noticing your body. Then, allow the experience to unfold at its own pace. No pressure to finish fast, no expectation to perform, just awareness. That alone can reignite a depth of sensation that may have felt lost. But even with a healthier pace, there's still one more habit that could be silently limiting your experience. And it's something most men do automatically, without even realizing how narrow it makes their pleasure. Still with me? Type 1 in the comments if you're finding these insights helpful. Now, let's explore what might be the most overlooked pathway to deeper satisfaction. Let's move to mistake number 4. Mistake number 4. Ignoring the rest of your body. Let me ask you something that few men ever stop to consider. When was the last time you truly involved your whole body in pleasure? If you're like most men, especially those in their 60s or 70s, focus has long been narrowed to one small area. Same region, same goal, same outcome. It's a pattern learned early on, where all attention is funneled toward the genitals, while the rest of the body is treated as a relevant background. But the truth is, your body is not just a delivery system for release. It's an entire sensory landscape waiting to be rediscovered. After all, you are not just a set of parts. You are an integrated system of nerves, hormones, emotions, and energy, all of which thrive on attention. When you overlook areas like the inner thighs, lower belly, chest, neck, or the perineum, that sensitive space between the scrotum and anus, you're not just skipping over skin, you're missing the chance to awaken entire networks of feeling and connection. These regions are packed with nerve endings that, when stimulated, gently can amplify arousal, improve circulation, and bring a sense of wholeness to the experience. Something as simple as warm, mindful touch, or a slow, intentional breath drawn through your chest while your hand rests gently on your abdomen, can completely transform your experience from mechanical to deeply embodied. This isn't about reinventing yourself. It's about reuniting with the parts of you that were left behind in habit. When we talk about men's health, we often focus on numbers, testosterone, blood flow, heart rate. But pleasure is a human process, and the more we involve the full body, the more we strengthen not only our sensitivity but also our emotional presence and nervous system resilience. Slowing down, exploring new zones, staying curious, these are not indulgent acts. They're neurological enrichment. They're emotional renewal. And here's the beautiful truth. None of this requires tools, supplements, or complicated routines. Just curiosity, just care. The kind of attention you'd offer a friend in need but turned inward, toward your own evolving self. Because after 60, pleasure doesn't die, it changes. It becomes deeper, slower, more connected, but only if you allow it. So before we move forward, take a moment. Ask yourself honestly, have you been ignoring the rest of your body? Are you repeating a pattern that only touches the surface? Because, even with all the awareness in the world, there's one more subtle mistake that might still be holding you back. It's not about what you do, but about what you believe. And unless you recognize it, it may quietly shape every intimate experience you have. Still here? Type 1 in the comments if you're ready to go deeper. Let's move on to mistake number 5. Mistake number 5. Avoiding lubrication. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you actually enhanced your pleasure with the right support? Or have you been doing it the hard way? For many older men, self-pleasure becomes so habitual that small adjustments are rarely considered. And one of the most overlooked, yet impactful, elements is lubrication. It may seem minor, maybe even unnecessary. After all, you've managed for decades without it. Why change now? But here's the truth. As we age, our skin changes. Moisture levels drop. Nerve endings may become less responsive. And friction that once felt tolerable can now cause subtle discomfort, or worse, go completely unnoticed until sensitivity fades altogether. The very thing meant to bring relief can become irritating, or even numbing over time without lubrication. Repeated friction can lead to micro tears in the skin, low-level inflammation, and a gradual loss of sensation. It's not just about immediate comfort, it's about preserving long-term sensitivity and protecting your skin's integrity. Using a high-quality, skin-safe lubricant isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Just like wearing reading glasses doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're supporting the way your body works now. Lubrication enhances everything: comfort, ease of movement, and overall sensory feedback. For men with arthritis or limited hand flexibility, it allows for smoother, more fluid motions. For men with decreased arousal response, it helps reawaken tactile signals. And psychologically, it signals self-respect because you're treating your body with care, not forcing it through outdated habits. There's also a deeper truth here. Slowing down and using lubrication invites mindfulness. It encourages intentionality, comfort, and a gentler approach. What once felt mechanical begins to feel nourishing. It's not about making things slippery. It's about making them sensitive again. Think of it this way. After 60, your body deserves tools that support, not punish it. Lubrication isn't just for when there's a problem. It's for when you want to create a better, richer, more pleasurable experience. Whether you're exploring solo or incorporating a personal massager, just a small amount of quality lubricant can make the entire experience more fluid, more connected, and far more satisfying. It turns routine into ritual. And here's the best part. This shift isn't expensive, invasive, or complicated. It simply takes permission from you to give your body what it needs, what it deserves. But even with all the right techniques, tools, and timing, There's one more barrier that can quietly steal your joy. And it doesn't come from your skin, it comes from your mind. It's the silent narrative running beneath your thoughts. And, if left unchecked, it can sabotage even your most intentional efforts. Still here? Type 1 in the comments if this resonates with you. Let's explore that final internal mistake next, in mistake number 6. Mistake number 6. Feeling shame or guilt about the act. Let me ask you something that goes beyond technique with silent messages. Are you still carrying about self-pleasure? Even with all the knowledge, the right tools, and a more compassionate approach to your body, many older men still find themselves battling an invisible force, shame. It's often unspoken, but it runs deep-rooted in childhood, shaped by strict religious teachings, social taboos, or family expectations. Maybe no one ever said the words out loud, but the message was clear. This is something to hide. And even now, decades later, those early emotional imprints can still influence how you relate to your body. You might know that self-pleasure is natural and healthy, but you may still rush it, hide it, or feel the need to downplay its importance. You might joke about it or avoid even thinking about it too deeply, just to keep the discomfort away. But here's what gets lost in that silence: the chance to fully accept yourself, to honor your needs, to reclaim your right to feel good in your body without guilt. The science is clear. Regular, mindful self-pleasure in men over 60 has been linked to better sleep, improved mood, reduced anxiety, and even stronger immune function. When approached with awareness, it becomes more than physical, it becomes emotional grounding, a form of self-connection, and in some ways, emotional healing. Letting go of shame doesn't mean losing integrity. It means becoming more honest, more human. It means asking yourself, where did this belief come from? Does it serve me? Or is it just something I inherited out of fear or silence? The truth is, there's nothing shameful about tending to yourself. In fact, giving yourself time, presence, and care is one of the most powerful forms of self-respect you can practice, especially as you age. Think of it this way: redefining self-pleasure as self-care, rather than something taboo, transforms it into a pathway to emotional confidence and dignity. It's not indulgent, it's restorative. And here's a gentle suggestion: the next time you notice discomfort or guilt creeping in, don't push it away. Pause, breathe, acknowledge it, and then choose differently. Choose curiosity over judgment, compassion over shame. You don't need to convince anyone else. You just need to stand with yourself. In that space, healing happens, pleasure deepens, and you begin to inhabit your body not as something to fix or hide, but as something to live in, still. Even with emotional clarity, one final mistake often separates routine from real satisfaction, and it has less to do with biology and everything to do with intention. Are you still with me? Type 1 in the comments if this speaks to you, because next we'll explore the 7th and final shift, perhaps the most important one of all. Let's move on to mistake number 7. Mistake number 7. Ignoring tools and devices designed for older men. Let me ask you something simple, but often overlooked. If your eyes needed help seeing, would you hesitate to wear glasses? Then why do so many older men resist using tools that support their pleasure? After the age of 60, changes in sensation, grip strength, dexterity, and stamina are not failures, they're biology. Yet many men continue to approach self-pleasure in the same exact way they did in their 30s, not realizing that their needs and their opportunities have changed. Think about it. As we age, we adapt in nearly every area of life. We choose ergonomic chairs, reading glasses, orthotic shoes. Not because we're broken, but because we're wise. Adapting is not giving up, but's leveling up, and intimacy is no different. Ignoring the many supportive tools now available for older men isn't a sign of strength. It's a missed opportunity for comfort, connection, and rediscovery. Today, there are countless well-designed, safe, and discreet devices created specifically for aging bodies. Soft, skin-safe sleeves that mimic natural sensation. Hands-free massages that ease physical strain. Ergonomic aids that reduce tension for those with arthritis or fatigue. These tools don't replace your touch, they enhance it. They allow you to experience pleasure longer, with less discomfort and more consistency. For many men, these tools offer not just convenience, but confidence, a new sense of possibility within their intimate lives. And using them isn't about dependencies, about being smart, intentional, and open to evolution. Think of it this way: you wouldn't hesitate to change your diet or exercise routine to stay healthy as you age. Why not give the same thoughtful attention to your sensual wellness? Welcoming these tools isn't weakness, it's self-respect. It says, I value this part of myself enough to nurture it. And for some men, embracing support devices unlocks sensations they haven't felt in years, not because the body wasn't capable, but because the mind hadn't yet given permission. Of course, these tools are just one part of the equation. What truly transforms the experience isn't only physical, it's mental. It's the mindset you bring. And when that mindset evolves, everything else begins to shift in ways you never imagined. Still with me? Type 1 in the comments if this resonates. Because now, with the final piece in place, let's bring everything together and reflect on how these 7 shifts can restore connection, confidence, and deep satisfaction at any age. Let's move to the closing chapter. Reframing the mindset. It's time to evolve, not retreat. Let me ask you something powerful to end this journey. What if this stage of life wasn't about losing, but about deepening? After exploring all 7 mistakes, you may have realized that the most profound shift doesn't lie in technique, tools, or timing. It lives in your mindset. And that mindset is what unlocks the door between routine and renewal. Too often, men over 60 still view self-pleasure through the lens of youth, a quick release, a secret habit, a mechanical act done out of necessity rather than desire. But your relationship with your body, with pleasure, and with your identity has changed. And the real question is, will you evolve with it or retreat from it? This phase of life isn't a door closing, it's an invitation to slow down, to reconnect, to reclaim intimacy not just as physical touch, but as emotional alignment and personal respect. Self-pleasure is no longer just about satisfaction. It's about balance. It's about honoring the man you are today, not chasing the version of you from decades ago. When you let go of outdated narratives around what male sexuality should look like, you make space for something far more meaningful. It becomes care, not performance. Exploration, not autopilot. Reframing self-pleasure as a practice of self-respect rather than an old routine opens a gateway to experiences that are deeper, richer, and more fulfilling. It's a chance to appreciate your body as it is now too. Accept the shifts of age with dignity, and to find joy in presence, in slowness, in intention, when you move from shame to curiosity, from secrecy to self-awareness, from repetition to renewal. Allow yourself to grow sexually, emotionally, and spiritually. This isn't about reclaiming the past. It's about meeting yourself now with grace, with wisdom, and with compassion. And when you do, the rewards go far beyond pleasure. They ripple into how you walk through the world, how you sleep, how you connect, and how fully you allow yourself to be alive, still with me. Then let this not be an ending, but a beginning. Your body has not given up on you. Maybe it's been waiting for you to finally come home. Closing message: rediscovering yourself through a new kind of intimacy. So here we are at the end of this exploration, but perhaps right at the beginning of something far more meaningful. Turning 60 and beyond doesn't mark the end of your intimate life. It marks a turning point, a moment to pause, reflect, and ask yourself what you truly want from your relationship with your body now, not 20 years ago, not based on someone else's expectations, but now, maybe over the years, you've internalized old beliefs that no longer serve you. Maybe you've moved through your experiences with habit rather than presence. Maybe you've felt disconnected, stuck in routines that once worked but no longer satisfy. I've been there too, wondering if it was just part of aging, or if there was still something deeper I hadn't yet reclaimed. What I've come to learn, and what many older men are now discovering, is this: self-pleasure can be so much more than release. It can be healing. It can be care. It can be a quiet space where you reconnect with who you are now, not the man you used to be, but the wiser, more grounded version of yourself today. Every mistake we've discussed, believing old myths, repeating the same motion, rushing, ignoring your body, avoiding lube, carrying shame, or resisting tools is not a failure. It's an invitation. Each one offers a chance to shift your mindset and approach pleasure with more presence, kindness, and curiosity. You are not too old, you are not broken, and you are certainly not done discovering what it means to feel good in your own skin. So, if this message resonated with you, hold on to it. Let this be a beginning, not an ending. You deserve that. You've earned it. And maybe, just maybe, the most fulfilling chapter is the one you write from here on out. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What insight are you taking with you? What's one thing you're ready to try differently? Let's support each other on this journey. Drop a 1 in the comments if this video helped you, or a 0 if it didn't quite land. We're here to learn and grow together. And if you haven't already, consider giving this video a like, sharing it with someone it might help, and subscribing for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, may you live boldly, gently, and fully on your own terms.